Hello.
Hello.
Uh, okay, so let's get started. So the reason that I wanted to do this kind of workshop is that usually every month, a couple of people on average would reach out and they want to understand what further knowledge they should be trying to get to boost their career in supply chain domain. And many and these are people from various different backgrounds. Some maybe who have just recently completed their studies, maybe some university program, and they're looking for the job break. And the question is, what else other than the college or university studies would be helpful? And then there are people who have spent maybe 5 years, 10 years in supply chain career. They are looking for making a switch in their domain, or they're looking for advancement opportunities, or they're looking for going into different sort of industry vertical, for example. So there can be various reasons and motivations for certifications programs. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to compile a bigger picture as to what are some of the most popular designations or certifications in supply chain in Canada. And once we understand which ones are taking us to which direction, as well as we understand what's the effort level and cost involved, hopefully we can make better choice. So that's the reason for this let's say workshop. As for myself, some of you know me. Just for the sake of a quick introduction, I've been in supply chain management since 2007. So it's been almost 17, 18 years in supply chain management. And I started, actually, my career started a little bit before that. The supply chain portion started from Africa, then I went to Europe, and then I came to Canada. I have been in the areas of purchasing and procurement, commercial management, contracts handling, etc. as well. And past 8 years, I'm in the planning and inventory management plus overall materials management, including the warehouse, etc. So those domains. So I had the opportunity to kind of traverse a range of areas in supply chain management. And hopefully that gives me a bit of a perspective as to what is entailed in which areas, right? By no means I claim that I know a lot. That's not the intention at all. It's always a constant learning process. I'm sure I'll be learning from each of you as well. So anyway, here the purpose is that I just want to share, my learnings. In terms of certifications, my first certification in supply chain management was CSCMP, certified supply chain management professional, which was basically same as SCMP from SCMA, Supply Chain Management Association of Canada. And following that, I also took up CPIM, which is certified in planning and inventory management, level 1 and level 2. Now it's become one level, but earlier used to be two different levels. Um, I did some non-related certifications, which were more like project management, PMP, and uh, Lean and Six Sigma, etc. Scrum Masters, but they are not strictly related to supply chain. They are like slightly different areas. Uh, so here we'll talk about a few certifications which I may not have, and but there's a reason, like why I wanted to go with the SCMP and CPIM. Down the line, I could be probably doing some more stuff, SAP and things. So anyway, that's kind of my journey, and hopefully I can add value to you in this thing. So far, any questions? By the way, I have not asked for introductions of the participants right now. If time permits, we'll keep that for the end so we can have maybe 10-15 minutes quick introduction and networking session. Initially, I just wanted to make sure that I'm able to deliver the content of the workshop. So far, any questions? Are we good to get started, or do you have any other expectations that you want to share before we start? We're all good?
Sir, yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, we know.
No, sir, we are good. You can go ahead.
Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so looking at the bigger picture of supply chain management, one of the most popular certifications is CSCP, right? And there's this body called ASCM, which is Association of Supply Chain Management, right? And ASCM is one of the most well-known supply chain associations in the world. Earlier they were called APICS, or American Purchasing and Inventory Control Society, I think was the full form of that. But they have since renamed themselves. They became ASCM. When you're saying association, these are like non-profit bodies which are uh, um, made of all these professionals practicing that, but they ensure that the people who are members of that, or who are actually designated members of that association, they meet certain standards and level of knowledge and professional skills, right? So these kind of bodies, like, there are a few. So ASCM is one of the prominent ones. In Canada, Supply Chain Management Association, SCMA. Now there's another one which has come up, which is NISCL, National Institute of Supply Chain Leaders. Internationally, there are a couple of other organizations, ISM, I think Institute of Supply Management, I believe. And then we have CIPS, Chartered Institute of, uh, I think, procurement or purchasing professionals, like their SIPS. SIPS is what the name. So there are some North American, and there are some international organization associations which are in the domain of supply chain. And with respect to Canada, uh, ASCM is one of the most popular ones, and SCMA is another very popular one. Now, NSCA, we'll talk about that, which is kind of an offshoot of SCMA, which started. So, talking about CSCP, is globally recognized, comes from ASCM. Where does it fit? So here, this is mainly about the bigger picture of supply chain. So that would include things from sourcing all the way to let's say, receipt of those materials. So every stage of the supply chain is basically covered in the CSCP, right? So and that would include things like, waste reduction of waste in supply chain, improving communication with various different parties and stakeholders who are involved in supply chain. It covers areas from the production of those materials coming from the from the manufacturers, distribution of those, purchasing, and also services, etc. Identification of supply chain risks, that's very important. As you can imagine, supply chain is a lot about risk management. It can be about the risks of not having sufficient material versus having like too much material. So both kind of risks are there, right? So identification of the weaknesses in supply chain, or the risks in supply chain, and helping to build the response plans. So those are the areas which are covered by this designation. Okay. So why what does it cover? So this covers end-to-end supply chain best practices. It is targeted at professionals who are managing suppliers, plants, distributors, and customers globally. So as an example, you are, let's say, buyer at a large corporation, or you're a manager, for procurement, or sometimes like smaller organizations may not specialize separately into purchasing, inventory management, warehousing. It could be like one supply chain manager who's looking after everything, right? So the professional who is looking at the global picture of the supply chain management, they are the target of the CSCP. And of course, as all of these designations, they claim that they boost competitiveness for professionals and organizations. In a way, it's true because, as you can imagine, when you're in the employment market, the organizations, when they're going for the hiring, they're looking for these designations and certifications because they are a signal to them that you are serious about your profession. You are someone who's continuously looking for improvement in the knowledge and growth in the knowledge, right? So that's a general statement which will hold true for all the certification that we'll talk about here, right? What are the topics that you are covering in the CSCP in terms of the knowledge area? So these are the areas. So we are talking about supply chain, demand management, and forecasting, right? Second is global supply chain networks. Third, sourcing products and services. Fourth, internal operations and inventory. So as you can see here, number one is the global picture. Within that, we are also talking about the demand management and forecasting, which is where the planners, for example, or uh, uh, inventory analysts, for example, they would come into picture, right? Because they are trying to understand to make a forecast of what may be required by the end user or by the consumer. Second part is about the global supply chain network. So like the all the movements of the shipments from point of manufacturing or point of origin all the way to the point of consumption, right? Sourcing is another big one, which would basically mean about what are how you go about finding the right sources. How do you make the selection of the right sources? How do you compare the qualities? How you compare the total cost of ownership? So all those concepts will come here. And then we are talking about internal operations and inventory, which will include in some organizations that may include the manufacturing, the production of the goods, and managing raw inventory as well as raw material inventory as well as semi-finished goods or finished goods. So all that is covered in the first part, and then we have second part, which is about the forward and reverse logistics. Um, as you can imagine, like logistics will be in terms of movement of the materials through from the point of origin all the way to the point of consumption. So that may be like various modes of transportation. It can be land transportation. It can be sea transportation. It can be air transportation, multimodal transportation, and same. So not just the forward side, but the reverse side as well. There may be goods which are being returned or for whatever reason, or they are going to be remanufactured, or they're going to be getting a new life, right? So they're being repaired, for example, right? So all that reverse logistics will also be a part of that thing. And the supply chain relationships, right? So various entities which are involved in the supply chain, and how they are exchanging information, how they determine the role for each other, all that area. Risks is something which is, as I mentioned, is constantly present in supply chain. So managing that risk, identifying the risk, and how to deal with those risks, building the risk register, building the mitigation plan for the risks, and assigning responsibilities, for the risk management, right? And optimization, sustainability, and technology. So these are things which are the values of supply chain, which like are constantly present in whatever we do, right? And technology has a big role as well, because like that brings the efficiency, that brings better transparency and better control. So that's the content of what's being covered. As you can see, this is covering many topics. a very vast range of topics, and that gives you a comprehensive understanding of the subject. But at the same time, it does not allow you, or like it's not like meant to make you an expert in one area as such, right? So it's giving wider picture, more global nature of understanding, but it's not going probably in a lot of depth on one particular side, on inventory or transportation or on purchasing. It's not going very, very deep into those areas. So it is considered to be more global, right? So that may be the strong point for this program, that it is more comprehensive. It gives you a very vast range of understanding. The downside of that would be that you are not considered as an expert on one particular area. So you're not like specialist. You are more of a generalist with this designation. I personally believe that this is a very good designation to begin with if you are going for your first certification or designation. Once you have a global understanding and you've had more experience under your belt, then you can determine whether you want to specialize in one particular area or you want to be a generalist. So to begin with, this would be a great designation. Let's look at the study format and the tools which are available. So there are different ways you can do self-paced learning. There are some instructor-led learnings as well, and there are some corporate options as well. If your company is willing to sponsor 4 or 5 people into that program, you can ask for specialized uh, uh, instructor-led options from the chapter or from the organization. That will include your study materials. There are the quizzes, there are flashcards and those things. And so you can assess, like you can do some initial tests, and you can see how much you know already. Then you can start study of the actual material, and you can do the practice, which basically will mean that you're doing some mock exams. Once you feel comfortable, then you can write the full exam. What is the exam format? So it's a computer-based exam with 150 questions, duration 3.5 hours, and results are available immediately upon submission. As soon as you submit your final answers, you get the result immediately. Uh, and then the certification is awarded if you're passing the exam, right? So that's the exam format for this. Now, the important question is how much is the cost of the program? Because like a lot of us, we may not have the support, from our employer on these kind of programs. So this may be hitting your pocket. So rightfully, you would be concerned about the cost. So cost for this program is around basically, if I'm looking at the number for the members, so about $1,400 for the learning system and another $1,400 for the exam fees. If you are combining the two, which normally you would do anyways, that would be around 3,500 US dollars. Sorry, like for the members, it will be around 2,500 US dollars. So approximately, I would say 3,500 Canadian dollars, approximately that price, right? In terms of prep time, people would give you different answers. It's very, very subjective. It depends on the intensity of your study. If you're taking big gaps, during the study, or you're doing in one stretch, how attentive you are, how much knowledge you already have. So it's very subjective. So, for example, in my case, I was able to complete the exam in about 2 weeks when I did no, not this one, CPI. I'm sorry, not CSCP. So it depends, people from person to person. Uh, so my commentary on this is that the cost wise, this program is one of the best returns of on investment. You'll see when we are talking about other programs. I don't think there's another program which has this kind of cost structure and is so well recognized. So usually, I would say that unless your company is sponsoring you, this may be actually a very good place to start using your money expense, and a very good designation to have. So that's about CSCP. I'll pause here for any questions if we go to the next one. Any questions? Yeah, Atosh, please go ahead.
Yes, Sandeep, I'll just this is not a question, but I'll just put my comment.
Sure. Yeah.
I have CSCP degree certification, and this really helped me in cracking the interview. So I have around 6 years of experience in Maruti Suzuki in supply chain operations, and I was moving here. I moved to here after doing my MBA from Schulich. So these certifications really helped me in cracking the interviews, uh, and it widened my like understanding of end-to-end supply chain processes. So just a comment, not a question, I would say.
No, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Atosh. And that's a good reminder. Some of the people here have that have experience with some designation or some other programs that they've done. End of the day, the idea is that we all share our experiences, we pool our experiences, so everybody benefits from that. You benefit from someone else's experience, and others benefit from your experience. So that's great to hear, Mitosh. I mean, your validation that this designation was helpful in your in building your career here. That's a very good confirmation of what we believe. And personally, for myself, I would say that uh, the designations that I earned earlier in the career, those were definitely helpful in finding new opportunity or advancement of career within the organization. So definitely these are things which are very, very much worth of your time and effort. Gives you confidence, gives you better acceptance in the among the management as well. Thanks, Santosh. So you did that like how many years ago?
So I did when I started in September 2022,
Okay,
and I gave my exam in January 2023. So it took me around 5 months.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Okay. So I hope this is a good starter information, and I also want to mention that some of these information about the price and the exam content and how many number of questions, and like don't take this as the Bible. I mean, you can always go to the website and you can find that information very easily. So this is like more of like I this information is probably as current as it is, but it will change with time. So just be careful about like just going and revisiting the website for getting the latest information. Okay, so moving on. The next one is CPIM. That's my favorite. So it's certified in planning and inventory management, right? So uh, this enhances the expertise on internal operations. And a very good way to look at this thing is, for example, if you are in an organization within its premises in the four walls, what happens? That is the main concern of the CPIM. Whereas the CSCP, you can think of the full supply network, which would extend beyond your four walls, beyond your boundaries, your organization boundaries. So CPIM mainly is looking at the areas of the production, planning, inventory management. That is the area which is the focus of the CPIM. So it's a narrower area, but it goes much deeper in that area. Okay. So this basically is equipping the professionals to manage materials, production, and planning, right? So, for example, when you're dealing with a manufacturing plant, there are multiple ways in which the production plant can be set up. There can be like different kinds of shop setup, for example, right? So you have various resources. You have demands which you need to be fulfilled in a certain time frame. So you are doing all this planning to see when the production should happen, how much of for the production to have to happen and to meet the demand from the market or to meet the forecast from your sales team. What is the lead time in which you have to procure the materials and keep those ready so that the production has those handy when they're about to start the production. You're doing capacity planning in terms of like how much of the time of the machinery of the people would be consumed in order to meet the production schedule, right? And then you're doing the planning in terms of the inventory, how much of inventory you want to hold on in stock versus how much you want to bring in when the demand arises, or are you following the just-in-time inventory model? What are you doing with the inventory damages, obsolescence, right? All those areas. Since we are talking about the inventory, we also talk about the accuracy of inventory, because like inventory is something where like a lot of working capital of the organization is tied up. So it's sitting on the balance sheet, and you're declaring that every end of the year, every year, right, to the external bodies. So we need to make sure that the inventory which is being reported is actually physically there, right? So that's the accuracy, physical versus the book quantity, right? You are improving S&OP, which is what? Sales and operation planning. So sales team is looking at the demand of certain material, because they have to like sell that to the marketplace, to the end users or whoever, right? So there's a sales portion. And then operations is trying to make sure that they are able to produce what is expected to be sold by the sales arm. So one side is demanding production of certain things, the other side is producing those things. So the two sides, they have to work constantly together in order to have the right thing available, so that the opportunity is being maximized for the organization, for the entity, for the company. So that's so all these areas, they fall with the inventory and so inventory planning and management. And CPIM would be trained on these areas, how to run these areas. Strengthening ERP usage and forecasting. As you can imagine, forecasting is something which is pretty complex. It does require some understanding of statistics, or at least ways in which the models work. But on a day-to-day basis, you're not able to do that with pencil. That not work, right? So you need to have access to the ERP systems, which will keep track of all the inventory, all the usage, consumption, um, availability, accuracy, and everything. So based on all that information, it may also have the information about when the production will be starting, what's the schedule for that. So all of that information is there. And then there are certain algorithms, certain rules which are set up in the system, which will help you to forecast how much of the uh, say the spare parts or consumables are going to be required for by the production, and similarly how much will be sold towards the end customer, right? So all that is happening in the ERP system, or you may have some certain special add-on packages which will help you in forecasting better, right? So as CPIM, you understand, you get deeper into those areas, right? And yeah, so basically, as a in this area as a professional, you are trained to address the demand variability and supply disruptions, right? So you're trying to figure out about the demand, which can vary quite a bit, right? So you take certain calculations of how much could be the variability, how far it can go up, or how low it can be, right? So based on all that, you also take into account that supply may not be constantly available. So you try to take a factor, for example, safety stock, right? For that, you calculate a service factor. So all that area is coming under the planning and inventory management. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this focuses on the internal supply chain operations and inventory control. And so this will be taking you in which areas in terms of your career. So it will open up the roles in planning, manufacturing, scheduling, and materials management. These are the major areas in which the roles are going to be there, right? So in terms of, like, my personal feeling is that in terms of the scope, this may be smaller than CSCP, but it goes deeper. People who are going into these areas, planning, scheduling, etc., usually they need to have this kind of experience and knowledge, whether that is through CPIM designation or through some college program, but you need to have a good understanding of these theories and these models, right? So that is CPIM. In terms of the exam content, there are these different modules. I think they have combined. I think they have come up with one book. When I wrote the exam, this was like in 22, I think that time we had two different modules, two different levels, and I think we had two books. So it keeps changing. Nevertheless, the areas which are covered here, there's one is a global supply chain strategy, but then you are getting into the inventory management territory. So we are talking about sales and operational planning, S&OP, demand side, supply side, scheduling, right? And then you're talking about inventory management, distribution of the inventory, and finally, you are talking about concepts like quality, continuous improvement, and the usage of technology. So as you can see, we are not talking here about sourcing. We are not talking about contract management. We are not talking about post-contract, post-award commercial management. So this one is very much focused on the internal operations of the organization, dealing very closely with the production side and working closely with the sales side to make sure that we are optimizing the uh, the market opportunity, right? And that process, you're trying to be sharp with your inventory. You want to make sure that you're following the right principles on the CI and quality control, those areas. Okay. Study format very similar to what we already discussed in CSCP. So you have the self-paced, you have the instructor-led, and you have the corporate learning paths and those things. So you have printed materials, quizzes, and stuff. So nothing new there. Exam format is very similar to CSCP as well. Same thing. So you have around 130 questions, 3.5 hours of time, and results are available immediately upon the submission. Cost-wise, I noticed that there's slight difference. I think CPIM looks a little bit less costlier or cheaper as compared to CSCP. But once again, I'll encourage you to look at the latest information on the website and make sure that you're following that. This may be slightly dated. Recommended study time, again, very subjective. So it's more about the intensity of study, I'll say. You can be very smart with a study. Like one of the things that I used in my CPIM preparation, I did not have much time because I had a very busy work schedule. So I had only 2 weeks for the first level and then 1 week for the second level. So my method of study was that I would check what kind of topics are there in the curriculum, and rather than trying to study from the book, I would take the topic, go to YouTube, find the best videos on that one, watch 2 or 3 different videos, have a good understanding of the topic, and then move on to the next topic. And end of like the last day or the one day before the exam, I just browse the book just to see like if I missed something. So that worked for me. I'm not saying that that's the best way, but the emphasis is on having a clear understanding. The method of that understanding varies from people to people. Some like reading the book. Some people may like watching videos, or some may like conversations. Like you can have a study group and you can speak to like friends, and just like that may be your method of learning. So various different ways, whatever works for you. Try to figure that out, right? So that's about the CPIM. Okay, so before we move to the next topic, any questions on this one, CPIM?
Hello, Sandeep ji. Ashish this side. I hope you
Ashish?
are able to hear me. Sorry, cannot come on camera as I'm on dad duty. Uh,
Kalam.
Just one question.
Sure.
For the certifications that you are sharing, can you also share the job titles that basically either go for these certifications or are basically when people are hiring for those certain positions,
Mhm.
they look for these certifications?
Sure. What I can do is that I can prepare something about that, and I can share that with the participants. Good point. And yeah, so let's just address that for the CPIM, for example. So CPIM roles would be mainly in the areas of the planning, scheduling, and inventory management, and a little bit about quality and continuous improvement. So, for example, inventory analyst, that's a very popular opening uh, level of entry level, basically, like in terms of that area. You can be a demand planner, you can be a scheduler, you can be inventory supervisor, inventory manager, director for inventory. Um, you can be a production controller as well. In some cases, that area is also like people look for this kind of experience. Uh, you can be process improvement, manager. So yeah, so whatever you can imagine in terms of the internal operations and planning, inventory control, anything related to that would be the focus of the CPIM. CSCP is more global, where as I mentioned, like that can be procurement related, any opportunity you can think of, purchasing related opportunities. Many small organizations, they call it a supply chain. Some say supply chain and procurement. So like designations or the exact titles can vary, but CSCP would be more global. You'll not find too many CSCPs in the inventory and planning area, for example, but you'll find them more in general positions. I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity, but I take your feedback. I will try and prepare a list of designations I mean, possible like job or openings or career paths rather actually for these designations that I can share that with you all.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. That answered my question.
No problem. Anytime. Perfect. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? All good? Okay. So let's go back and let's move to the next one. Sorry, I did gather a little bit more information on this thing. So yeah, so there's a membership cost as well for the ASCM. That's not too much. I think it's about $100 a year. And there's like some add-on option for certifications, another $100. So once you have taken these things, then those like reduced cost options will be available. One big benefit of joining ASCM is that they have local chapters. I'm a member of Mississauga chapter. I'm sure they have in Toronto. I'm not sure about Brampton, but they have a few chapters in GTA. These can be very useful places for you to do professional networking and get to know more people from your profession. So they have like some meetings, they may have some conferences and speeches and etc. So they're good forum for networking. Yeah. So that's about that. Yeah, one more thing. So once you have earned these designations, initially they are valid for 5 years. But within those 5 years, you have to have certain professional development points that you have to earn. And with that, you can apply for the maintenance of that designation. So they'll again renew that for next five years, right? And these are some of the areas in which you can get those C grades. So this kind of model is very common. I'm sure you have come across this earlier as well. So most of these designations, they ask you to be active in your learning and make sure that you are updated with the things happening in the industry, right? So they have a system of maintenance, right? Okay. So we are done with the two major ones, CSCP and CPIM, which are coming from ASCM. There are two more designations, CLTD, which is transportation and distribution, and I think they have come up with something CTSC. So those are also, and I'm not sure they're as popular as the ones that we talked about. But if you want to specialize in transportation, for example, you could look into that as well. I would suggest that those may not be something that you want to start with. If you are really advanced in those kind of careers, then you can look into that. But otherwise, CSCP probably will be the best bet for most of the people. CPIM for people who are more specializing into the planning, demand management, and those things, right? So that's for the ASCM. I'm not talking about the certificate programs. I'm talking about the designations, which are the something that you can add after your name. I consider those as more valuable because they're earned with some challenge and difficulty, so they're valued more. So coming to the Canada side, so this designation that you can see on the screen, SCMP, that is awarded by an association called Supply Chain Canada, Supply Chain Management Association, SCMA. I think they've changed the name recently. They became Supply Chain Canada. So that's SCMP. This is a very popular designation in the Canadian market. Not much popular outside of Canada. So kind of only very popular inside Canada. They do advertise that people with the SCMPs they earn higher, etc. in Canada. There may be some survey, and I do believe that people SCMP has a good market value. In terms of the program structure, this is a little bit more intense. So the previous ones that we talked about, CPIM and CSCP, those are where you have to study certain exam material and you can write one exam. Now one exam, earlier used to be two exams. Before that, it was 5 exams. So there, that's the way of earning that. But here, in case of SCMP, this is deeper in terms of so you have 8 different modules. Each module has their own study requirements, and you have certain assignments, and you have exams. So it's almost like we can imagine a college course with different modules in that, right? So 8 core modules, which are so which are covering all these areas: strategic supply chain, procurement, logistics, global sourcing, risk, ethics, etc. So those are the modules, and then you also have interactive workshops. These may be 2 to 3 days, workshop, usually happening in an in-person setting in a college or something, say Humber College or some other college. So that's where the workshop will be happening. They're covering different areas like leadership, negotiation, communication, contracting, ethics, etc. So there are different topics. And then you also have a residency, workshop, which is integrating all the learning areas. You have a final project kind of thing, like within a group, maybe 5, 7, 6 people, they may form a group and they have to deliver the final project to the in front of the judges. And you have a final exam, which is a case-based exam. So after all these things, then you are getting the SCMP designation. And for earning this thing, you also need to have certain number of years of experience in supply chain management. So it's longer process to obtain that. And these are the weightages. So the modules will be 30%, workshops are 15%, residency is mandatory and 10%, and the final exam may be 45%, right? So it's all of these areas are critical for you to obtain your designation. Yeah. So that's that. In terms of the program cost, don't hold me to these. This is based on some past information. Things may have changed now. But if you look at the cost, the order of magnitude between all these things would be roughly around $17,000 to $18,000 Canadian dollars. If you have done some of these courses in your college or in your university program, you can ask for exemptions. If you get the exemptions, then like, for example, those modules you may not have to do. So you may get exemption of 2 modules, 4 modules, for example. So that's how you can get some cost waiver or reduction. Okay. So that's about SCMP. So coming to my thoughts on this program, I did this program way back starting in 2014, completed that in 2017. So it took me almost 3 years. And that time, the in-person program was still more popular. We were not, fully into the digital online kind of thing. It might have changed now. I think online may be more popular as well. But it was like a time-taking process. Like, things are going at a certain pace. Each of the module will be also of so many weeks, right? So in order to complete everything, minimum time that will take will be like 2 years or 2.5 years, right? So it's a lengthy program. As you can see, the cost is also quite high. So you have to see whether your situation allows for making that kind of commitment time-wise as well as monetarily. In my situation, my employer was able to sponsor me, and that's how I went there. But many of the people I've heard, like their employers would not sponsor at all, or they may sponsor like a partial amount. So you have to figure out for yourself whether that kind of investment would make sense, and you have the time and energy to like sustain that period to complete the program. Because if you're starting it and leaving it halfway, you are kind of losing the money anyway. Did not get the designation. So just that will be the word of caution on that. Has anyone done SCMP here in the audience, or has started?
Sandeep, can you hear me?
Yes, Deep, I can hear you a little bit, like still feeble.
Yeah, so I have a question regarding CPIL. So I'm preparing for the exam, maybe within a month. But my question is that I don't want to purchase the books, okay, because I have the books with me. Because when what we actually discussed about the course fee is inclusive of the books also,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not wrong, okay.
Okay.
So is it possible that without the books, I can sit for the exam and the course fee, will there be any variance? I mean, any difference?
I have not come across that situation, Deep. I'm not sure. I do not know if they will do any reduction for that reason or not. I think the best the way would be to just call them. I used to call them a few times actually, and they were very responsive, and like they'll give you the answer, very clearly. So just call the main line and speak to them. Like, I already have the books, and this is the situation. Uh, I was able to speak to them to extend like my timeline or something. So
Okay.
I think this sounded reasonable to me. So just try to speak to them.
You mean to say the ASCM?
ACM, yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. Thanks,
They
thanks.
they have a
Okay.
particular
Yeah,
team which is handling all that the learning
yeah,
system.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I have now.
Yeah, if I'm not then in the SCM portal there is just two options file like one for the only examinations and another for the course. And when we add to cart, then we have option to either we select the only exam and only content that we can do like that. If you
You're talking about the CSC, PCPIM, like they
yeah
have.
yeah
I see like there are two different the sections.
yeah
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
something
good.
I mean, you can look into that. Like
Yeah,
look.
yeah, that sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
I will look into that. I will look into
Yeah,
it.
look into
Thanks,
thank you.
thanks.
that. Yeah. You'll see that the benefit of uh, discussing together. You can figure out some important angles. Okay. Very good. So CMP, we are clear about that, right? So now let's move to another one. And that one is So this is a kind of a very new one. It's called NISCL CSCL. So that's the National Institute of Supply Chain Leaders, and CSCL is Certified Supply Chain Leader. I think that's the full form of that. Yeah, so this is a new designation. This organization is new in the sense that Supply Chain Management Association, SCMA, they had a provincial body called Supply Chain Management Association of Ontario, SCMAO. They, along with I think the BC chapter, they had separated from the main body, and after some like whatever back and forth, they branded themselves as NISCL. So they became a full entity by themselves, and they left the SCMA. So, but this is a very strong group. They have some very strong, some very good like programs happening in the industry, coming up with some creative things. So sounds like they will have like a very good following in time to come. So they have started their designation program for CSCL. And these are like the information like core learning. This also has modules. This has workshops. There are fewer modules and workshops, I believe. And I think the cost is also a little bit lower, but they have not advertised the cost on their website. So that part we have to call them and find out. So the one good thing which is there is that they have an exclusive partnership with CIPS, Chartered Institute of Procurement and CIPS. If you're completing the CSCL program, you'll also be getting a second credential that's called NCIPS. So NCIPS is known kind of worldwide. CIPS itself is a very large association for supply chain professionals. So you're getting basically like the dual credential kind of thing. So that may be a huge benefit for people who want to go for this program. They're being very aggressive in the market. So they have some good things coming up. There's a big awards gala that's coming up, I think, in September. And they have good industry partnerships and some good talks, etc. So anyway, just keep an eye on NISCL, and this designation can become very popular in that time to come. Okay. Okay. So any further questions on this? Okay. So now, so these are the kind of more popular ones in Canada and wide-based. Now there are two more things we'll talk about. I'll say that I personally I do not have this certification. So my knowledge based on my discussions with other people who have this certification. I think Joydeep, if you can hear me, I think you have the CIFA certification, right? Joy?
No, I don't have, no.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, good. No, it's so anyway, so this is some knowledge that I try to compile with another friend. So where this will be useful? This will be useful for the professionals who are working in the logistics, global logistics industry, and freight forwarding, right? So that's where this will be useful. So this may not be something which will be relevant to everyone, but then there are people who are in that industry, who are working in the shipping or like freight forwarding, that kind of those kind of roles. This is a bit specialized. Not too many people have heard about that or have understood about that. So if you happen to be in those areas, this can be a good career path to go and learn more and earn the designation, which should open you more doors, right? This will be narrow to that career, right? But more or less like people are expected to have these when you are trying to find opportunity in logistics and freight forwarding area. Topics that you're covering there are international transportation and trade. As you can imagine, when you're talking about international transportation, you will discuss the entire uh, ocean freight, various modes of transportation, and then all the responsibilities and insurance, how they flow with different terms. So C&A, CIF, all delivered duty paid DDP, all those things that I'm sure like everybody has read those things on the purchase orders and contract documents. You'll become expert on those areas, right? And then you're learning about the freight forwarding, so like how you're doing the custom documentation, how you're declaring goods, how you're calculating duties payable, who that is going to, what kind of documentation is required, bill of lading, and so like a lot of things that happen in the freight forwarding. You become expert on those areas, and then there's another like advanced diploma program there. So once you complete the first two, you get CIFA designation. And if you complete the third one, then that gives you a FIATA diploma. FIATA is like a global body in the, for the freight forwarders, right? So cost-wise, not too much. As you can see, like cost will be like, for example, around $1,100 for these two programs, which will give you the CIFA certification. So again, because of like the cost being very reasonable and the effort being reasonable as well, I would recommend that this is a useful certification to have if money is a constraint initially for you. Okay. Usually, if you're working in those companies or those entities, so they would sponsor your annual membership fees. So yeah, so that's on the CIFA certificate. And by the way, like I just want to ask a question, like anyone of you have a background in the freight forwarding and transportation?
Sandeep ji, I'm going to take SIFA. My company is recommending me to take it. I work for Canadian National Railway, and we work with all these steamship lines who bring containers to the ports.
Okay.
So yeah, so my boss was asking me to go for it whenever I can, and then yeah, one of the reasons of attending this meeting was also to know more about this. But yeah, I also feel that this is like very specialized, very, um, how to say, it is geared towards the terms for international trade and all. So yeah, uh, it's like not very in depth. That's what I heard from the people who have done in my team. They basically said that most of the things you are already like working with, but as you said that. Uh, there is another like advanced diploma one can do after SIFA one is done. So I will look into the coursework once again. But yeah, I just wanted to add uh, how to say some color.
That's great. Thank you, Ashish. And then when you go a little bit deeper and you're done the program, do let us know. We can have you as a speaker. You can tell other people, your journey and what are the let's say, the tips and tricks, for that certification.
Absolutely, sir.
Perfect. Okay, and then the final one that I had done some research about is P-log. Again, disclaimer, I have not done this, P-log resignation. A colleague of mine at workplace, he has completed P-log. He's the warehouse manager for for my organization. So he completed that P-log program like a year or 2 years ago. So this is being awarded by the association called Logistics Institute. And as the name would suggest, this is focused very much on the logistics. So movement and storage. The logistics mainly will be the movement and storage, right? So incoming freight, outgoing shipments, and distribution, storage, handling, warehouse setup, uh, then optimal routes for picking and staging, all those things that you can imagine. Like just like think of it like, for example, if you're working at a warehouse, everything that is happening there, it makes you master of that. So a great designation to have if you are looking for a career in that area, like the logistics and shipping and distribution. And with so many third-party logistics providers, 3PL providers, this can be useful to get employed with them, right? To find opportunities with them. To my knowledge, the program cost is still pretty on the higher side, I would say. So we have to look at whether, and then there's residency and stuff. So uh, I'm thinking maybe around $10,000 in total for this program. So again, something that one has to consider whether that will be worth your investment, or if you are in an organization and they are willing to sponsor you, that may be a better way to go for these more expensive ones. Any thoughts or comments on the PLOG? Okay.
So, Sandeep, I have a question.
Yes. Sudesh.
Yeah, so I work for a healthcare company here in Canada, and I basically do sourcing for the hospitals across Ontario region. So I wanted to dive deep into public procurement, and that is where I want to build my career also. So, what do you think will be the most suitable certification? Like I have done some research about CPPB and CSCMP. Do you think like those certifications will add value? And I want to go into strategic sourcing. I'm working as a strategic sourcing specialist right now. Want to dive deep into strategic sourcing field only. So, do you think those certifications will add any value?
Ayutosh, so you already have done CSCP in the past, and that is
Yes.
still valid, like you're still maintaining that one. So your question was about CSCMP and which else? So you said two things.
CPPB.
So that's a public procurement professional, right?
Public procurement, yeah.
And why are you looking for public, you're buying, you are in a private company right now.
No, it's a company. So Mohawk
Okay.
made by. So we do strategy. We do procurement for all the hospitals
Oh, yeah.
in
Okay.
Ontario region.
That's okay.
It's a public company.
Yeah, good. So I would say that, like, the designation wise, I think you are already very good in a very good spot. CSCP is very good. So that covers pretty much what you're required to know for this thing, and it's well recognized as well. I would say, see, CSCMP now it's SCMP and or otherwise CSCL, right? There's no CSCMP now. So SCMP would be kind of a repeat of CSCP pretty much. So the content would be very similar. Uh, it has a little bit more recognition in Canada because of the history. But otherwise, content-wise, it will not be like much different than CSCP. Uh, the downside is that is a like lengthy program, and the cost is very high. So first question would be that if your employer is willing to sponsor that much, many organizations would not sponsor that. And again, it's a 3-year kind of program. So if the answer is that your organization is sponsoring and you have a long-term commitment with the organization, you think you'll be staying with them to complete the program, then I think it will make sense. If you have to put your own personal investment, my opinion would be not to go for that. Like that much time investment you can do somewhere else and you can do better with your time. That would be my personal opinion. I would not do that on my own cost. This kind of CSCMP thing after doing CSCP, for sure, I'll not do that one. As far as the public procurement profession is concerned, I think that sounds interesting to me. I do not know how much the cost of the program, but yes, I do recognize that public procurement has certain unique things which is not taught elsewhere. Like, so you're not learning that in CSCP, you're not learning CP, SCP, SCMP, etc. That knowledge will be very useful because with that knowledge, you will be getting more opportunities from other public entities. They want to find the people who understand the rules of public buying. And so I think to that extent, that will be useful if you want to specialize in that area, public entities in the procurement. I think that sounds very relevant to me for that reason. Another thing I would suggest is that in the meantime, what you can do is that you just do more short-term courses, for the public, buying. If the cost is like concerned, then probably just do small 3 months or like just a standalone certification. That will also be helpful.
Standalone certifications like?
So there are some, like for example, I've seen NISCL, they had some workshop only for that, public buying, I think certificate program kind of thing was there. So it's not like designation, it's like, maybe, 3-4 days program, right?
Okay.
So that gives you a certificate as well. So you can include that in your resume for the time being. How much is the cost of that CPPP? Any idea?
CPP is around, I believe, $800, 800 Canadian dollars, but they require 1.5 years of public procurement experience, which I don't have. I have just 1 year, so I'll have to wait for 6 months.
You would assume, yeah. I think that sounds very reasonable. $800 is like very reasonable for that kind of. If they give you a designation, that's very useful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah. No worries. Any other questions from anyone?
Hello.
I know.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yes, sir. Just like that we talked in last before 1 month maybe. Yeah. During that time you recommended for the CPIM, and I am on entry level career. And after that, no, still I'm not enrolled, but I just watching the video on the YouTube and refer some resources that how can I manage that one. And on other side, I just also explore some job entry level job position and all other things. And all the positions they require with the designation they require some experience. So how can deal with that things? Because if I get the certificate, still they need some experience, like 1 year, 2 years. And I have no experience of the Canadian experience. I just a little bit experience from the India. It is not a big small company. So how can I deal with this situation?
That's a good question. I think we have to look into like specific demands. Like for example, SCMP and stuff, they're looking for 3 year plus or 5 year. So that's like outside of like you cannot do that. And anyway, the cost is too high. Don't
Yeah.
think about those things. CPAM, CSCP, to my knowledge, like I don't think they're like very rigorous in like asking like a lot of information, where what's experience, which area, give a certificate. I don't think they do that. So they just ask you like whether you have the knowledge or not. I don't think they're looking for like, okay, do you have to have the experience in Canada? I don't think they go to that level. So as long as you can, like if there is a question coming from them some point in time, you can tell them that I have experience, not in Canada but elsewhere, and I think they should be fine. I don't think they mention anywhere not make experience kind of thing. So I would say that that should not be a big concern. Mainly, their model is more about like you understand the material, you get the knowledge, and you prove that through the exam that you understand that, right? So that is very much doable. Like especially if you just have completed your studies, you are very fresh in that mindset. Just go ahead and take the plunge in that
Yeah. Okay.
and clear that. You'll be good for next 5 years. You're all set.
Okay.
So CPIM or CSCP, these I think like would be my first choices.
Okay, so I go with the CPIM. That
Okay.
more I match the both, and I feel that the CPIM is little bit better person.
If you are going towards CPIM, additional things I would suggest would be that you should try and learn data analytics. Like
Okay.
inventory management will be a lot about understanding the data and like making sense of that, studying the trends, like those kind of things. So and visualization of the data. So those things will be useful. do that, and then in parallel or later on, try to work on the data.
Okay. So in data analysis means like any particular language like Power BI or Tableau like that things.
Anything, Power BI, Tableau, those are all like very popular. MicroStrategy is popular. Doesn't matter. Like, anything you do, you'll have a good understanding of how the data is to be analyzed and to be presented. So, anyway, advanced Excel, that's a very good thing to do.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There are a couple of experts in our group who can help you in that area.
Oh, okay.
The data side. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, so we have a few minutes. What I just want to do is that the value of this social discussion is also in doing a quick introduction to each other, so we understand who is coming from what background, and that way, like, you have at least another reference point to speak to if there's a question in that regard. So if you're okay, I'll just ask each of you to speak maybe 1 minute about yourself, your background, in professional background, and whatever you want to share, like, what you're working on, what is your area of interest in supply chain. So just like take 60 seconds and talk briefly about yourself to the group. So Amitosh, we heard you we understood a little bit of your background, but maybe you can just add something more.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I'm Amitosh, and I have around 8 years of experience in supply chain. I started my career in 2015 with Maruti Suzuki. I worked there for around 6 years. Then I came here, did my MBA at Schulich, uh, did my internship at GFL for a year, and then moved to healthcare organization. It's called Mohak Medbuy. So it's a kind of GPO. We do strategic sourcing for all the hospitals in Ontario. So we are a group purchasing organizations, get mass discount, do purchasing on behalf of the hospitals. Yeah, so this is a brief introduction about me. Feel free to reach out to me in LinkedIn if you want to get any tips or any help with CSCP certifications. I also have done PMP certification. So if you want to do if you want to do PMP certifications, also feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tosh. Great knowing you. Appreciate that. Okay, thanks. Next, Devdeep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi. My name is Devdeep. So I'm in Canada for it's almost 8 years now, and my background is actually supply chain, and in India I was working for ITC. So there, I used to look after WMS. It's called the Warehouse Management System, and more into planning. So here, when I started, in a company called Big Ass Fans. So I joined as an associate there, but later on I was promoted as a supervisor. But after that, I started to concentrate more or focus more on inventory management. And apart from that, I was into analytics and all. That's what I was actually involved with. And then, now I'm in a company called Alstom. So in Alstom, it's the same thing. I mean, it's inventory and then more into planning. And as you all know that since I was discussing with Sandeep that I'm planning to sit for my CPIM. And as Amitosh, maybe I will contact you because I'm also planning to actually sit for the PMP. So this is a short background. So more into, you can say, analytics and then analyst. So you can actually, put me into these definitions. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Devdeep. Appreciate that. Okay, Joydeep.
Hi. It's nice to meet you all. You can hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. It's nice to meet you all. I'm Jaideep Chatterjee. I am my profession by profession. I am been in marketing, sales, and industrial trading, which included, of course, marketing and sales, but also supply chain management. Also, the practical aspects of this. I used to procure raw material from one country in my earlier career. Procure raw material from one country, get it converted to in another country, export the finished goods to a third country, to basically leveraging the key strengths of the different economies and finding out the market for the goods, products, and services. So I was in the engineering industry, I was in the steel industry, and later I was in the automotive industry, like including batteries, tires, lubricants. And I am in Canada for now 6 months, looking to further my career in uh, maybe marketing and sales or supply chain or a trading which combines both. So I am planning for appearing for PMP exams, and I have my MBA and electrical engineering from my earlier.
Thank you, Jaideep. I mean, you have an extensive
Once,
background and experience in these in senior capacities. I'm sure you will do very well.
once again, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
I have put on the headset. Sorry. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just was saying that you have a very extensive experience in various areas and in senior capacities on global level. So I'm sure you will do very well here in your career.
Let's see. I am
Yeah,
keeping my fingers crossed.
yeah,
Canada looks very lot of opportunities. Particularly, what I found is the logistics and warehousing.
yeah.
It's that's a very huge industry, and
Very
the
huge.
country is also almost, I think, 6 to 8,000 kilometers
Yeah,
wide,
yeah,
which involves huge scope for logistics and supply chain based roles.
totally. And the
Uh,
proximity to the US is another big factor.
Proximity to US, which gives a scope of exports and imports. Of course, now the tariff situation has killed half of it, but I think it will improve soon.
Temperate, yeah. Hmm.
And I think the main industry hub is in the central side, the prairies.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that again gives the logistics industry and supply chain industry. There's a lot of requirement in that
Yes,
region. I think so.
of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
but you will know better. You people are all here for much longer time.
So we all keep learning from each other. So thanks, Joy. Okay, Sanket, can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. I hope this was a useful discussion for you, today's discussion.
Yes, this was an useful discussion for me. So I'll really think about CSCP or maybe CPIM.
Okay, very good. Okay. So you wanted to introduce yourself quickly to the group?
Oh yeah, sure. Uh, so my background is from engineering. So I have done my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and I have worked in manufacturing sector
Okay.
for approximately 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and later came to Canada.
Yeah.
And I've done two programs which are quality engineering and supply chain management.
All right.
And
Mhm.
since manufacturing and supply chain goes hand in hand,
Mhm.
so yeah, I have like experience into handling inventory and stuff.
Very nice.
And yeah, so currently I'm looking for similar positions or something into logistics.
Okay. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, can get in touch. We can talk a bit further about that. I think given your background, today CPIM may be a better fit for you to begin with.
Yeah.
And not too many specialists in that area, so you may have lesser competition. You have better understanding of things required there. Yeah. So
Yes.
anyway, but yeah, definitely, like, we can talk about any further questions that you may have. My background is same. Like, I have planning, inventory management, quality control is also part of my portfolio. So I have
Yes.
that. So definitely, like, talk to me anytime.
Certain. Thank you.
Thank you. Where do you live, Sanket?
Currently, I'm in Toronto.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
nice meeting you. Thanks.
Thank you. Same here.
Sure. Thanks. Ashish.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm not able to come on camera.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, so I'm also a Schulich grad. Uh, I was a mechanical engineer before coming to Canada. I was with the uh, MRO industry, was in bearings for 6 or 7 years. Uh, had my own business. I started my own business. We were supplying basically parts and some industrial fabrications to the Japanese companies who are set up in Gurgaon NCR region. That business is still running. I did hear a lot of procurement people. Anyone has any idea of procuring stuff from India, be it anything, and like selling it here? Uh, I will be like really happy to connect with the guys, especially who are trying to like lower costs and add value to the organization. So I have a factory there. Like my partner is still running it. So if anyone is interested, like we can connect. In Canada, I'm working for Canadian National Railway. I'm a market manager with the International Intermodal Division, which is basically the containers that come from the Canadian ports, east and west, to the cities such as Toronto, Montreal, Regina, Halifax, like all these kind of like all the terminals that CN has in North America. So we basically work with steamship lines. We work on contracts. We basically help them take their cargo to the terminals that we have, and yeah, like that's what I basically work with. Like in short, I won't go in technicalities. So yeah, if anyone has any railway intermodal related questions, if it pertains to either steamship lines or railways, I can also help the team here. Back to you, Sandeep ji.
Thank you so much, Ashish. And then Ashish and I have known each other for almost, I think, 8 to 10 years now.
Yes, yes,
Association goes a long back, and I can tell about Ashish that he's an entrepreneur. He's started the business at a very young age, and I keep reminding him that you should start that journey here as well, uh, something alongside, right? So, but no, good to see your growth, Ashish. You have gathered like a lot of experience along the way in many different areas. So good to see that.
Thank you again, Sandeep ji. Like 8 years have passed since we met, and you know what? Like I have been attending your sessions I guess like from day one, and no, they really help. Like in whatever you're doing for the group, it's like really commendable. Like not a lot of people do it, so really like thank you again for everything that you do.
It's my pleasure as well. That's how I keep myself fresh, and like I have I get to know what's happening and meet more people, right? More friends. Well, thank you for that.
Definitely.
Okay,
Thanks again.
I think we have Abhinav left. Abhinav, I think Murli.
Yes.
Yeah, Abhinav, go ahead.
Hello everyone. Myself Abhinav Kalra, and I did a bachelor in mathematics from India, and I work as a 3 years as a logistic company as a not big a small company, just transporting company. They deliver the building material suppliers. Along with I work after that my graduation. I worked 19 months in a construction company as a project coordinator where I manage the material and labor side. Then I came in Canada in 2023 April. Here I did the project management and logistic and supply chain management. Now I'm working in the as just a survival job in working in the printing company. But now I'm more looking toward the my better fit that in logistics supply chain. And for that I regularly touch with the Sandeep sir and I get too much information and I just try to make my more efforts and then get in as soon as in the field.
Good to hear that. Good to see your passion for getting back into your the main expertise, right? So supply chain. So it'll happen. So
Thank you.
good. And Murli ji, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Long time.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and happy Independence Day.
Yeah.
I have joined the session purely because of Sandeep ji. I really like the way he spends his time, devotes his time for the community. So I just joined because seeing your enthusiasm, that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for the session again. Uh, yeah, we should really take inspiration from you, like giving back to the society.
It's all cycle. Whatever goes around, like comes around, right? So we all learn
Yes.
from each other, right? So
Yeah.
a little bit about yourself, Murli sir.
Yeah. So I'm working as a logistics coordinator for a manufacturing company here based in North America. So we have our plant, which is producing insulated panels.
Yeah.
So it's a global conglomerate. We have headquarters in Ireland, global headquarters, and North American headquarters in Florida, D-Land. So I've been quite busy. Lucky today that I got some time because our shipping team in D-Land got really disturbed. So I'm also remotely handling their tendering, their procurement of trucks and everything. I've been into the logistics team for the past 10 years, more into trucking. So my job would be of procurement of trucks for the company to ship the finished goods. It has been a good job, more challenges. My inputs to all the youngsters there or whoever want to really progress in their career would be my personal opinion. Certifications are there, good to enhance your knowledge or to give you some credibility in the industry, but don't lose on your basic skills wherein Excel, if you learn really master Excel, 50% of the more of the jobs or anything, whatever, it will come handy for you to really, yeah, to really maneuver your progress in the profession. Also, common sense cannot be taught in any school, but yeah, that we need to really more absorb and observe and learn from other people, whatever is there. Communication is key, whether written or spoken, or also your body language. These are the key factors, irrespective of the certifications, whatever you have. Because, especially in this part of the world, yeah, the way you speak, the way you carry matters more. And that we see. And yeah, I'm really hard work pace because I am looking forward from Augmentus, sir, my personal request. This is a good session to start, but also we should conduct more case studies kind of discussions, workshops, the real time, wherein we can really grasp and help each other how to conduct ourselves in the professional world. Sometimes, nowadays the work atmosphere is becoming so much of toxic
Yeah. True.
in terms of really, yeah, dog eating dog kind of competition or anything. So also it helps you to really, to express yourself because nobody's listening to you in the organization.
Yep.
But at least when you go on, do or discuss these case studies, it will really enhance how to conduct yourself.
So true.
And it also gives you that support that, okay, I'm right in whatever my approach was,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
Today.
That which is I am looking forward, and I keep promoting these kind of things
Mm.
wherever I go in professional circles. Like case study approach is the best approach.
Very well said. Well said. I totally agree with that, and I agree. Like the designations can do only so much, and they're very useful, but only to a certain point. And we have to work in parallel. Like we have to work on our soft skills, our interpersonal skills, our communication, confidence, and also put energy, like into the mix as well. Like you need to have a lot of energy for like if you want to go far, you need to show energy that like you can balance your job, you can do your designation, you can also be looking for like career enhancement. So all of these things would require a certain amount of passion and willingness to exert yourself. So and one thing I always say to people, especially youngsters, that time is very precious. And unless you have a
Yes.
solid plan for what you're doing with the time will just vanish. And later you realize that you lost like a lot of time without much result. So being conscious about where you're spending time is very important. And you can do more than one things at one time. You can be doing study, you can be doing job,
Mm.
you can be doing some other like certification, or you can be doing a side hustle, but
Yes.
having a purpose, for your time throughout is very important. So, well said, Muriji. That shows your experience. So that shows your
And
concern for the community, right?
yeah, and one thing I want to remind Amitosh, because he's into some healthcare um, supply or something. So if you remember, one of our group members, Dr. Anurag Sinha,
Yeah.
like recently, I think on LinkedIn, he said like they ventured into manufacturing the hospital beds or something. 100% Canadian. That I think he participated in a show somewhere for medical supplies show or something.
Yeah, so I know Anurag, but I'm not aware about this, his venture. Yeah, I'll get in touch with
Yeah, so I think yeah, his company is doing manufacturing there. You may get in touch with him.
you.
Mutually, it can benefit, like can
Yeah,
benefit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Thanks, Murli.
I know him well.
yeah.
Because if you need an introduction, let me know. And I've been to his production facility a few times, so I have the details on that.
Yes, sir. I want to meet him. Maybe I'll also ping you separately
Yeah, no problem.
whenever your time allows. I'll have a discussion with you.
I mean, we can do a visit to his facility together. So
Yeah.
big
Yeah, Anurag and we are graduate from the same college.
oh, he's a alumnus. Yeah, senior.
Yeah, yes, he's my alumni.
Very good. Very good. Okay, sounds good. I think that's all that I had here today. Any final comments from anyone, or otherwise we are good to close it?
Um, yeah, I think this is a vast thing, right? The certifications keep coming in.
Yeah.
Like it's a very, very, very vast subject. Also, um, uh, only few of the certifications would be valid for lifetime. I think most of them you have to really renew them
Yeah.
or
Three
pay
year,
some
five
fee.
year, yeah. Usually you have to renew them. Yeah. And for
Okay.
that you have to earn some extra points, which so it's not easy to maintain. Like one or two designations, if you're able to keep it for long, will be useful. Everything like PMP or SCMP or CPIM, everything requires maintenance. That's the trouble.
The surprise element is only the employees have to do all these certifications. The employees doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. Huh. Yeah, there's a business model out there, right? Like, destinations, like they want all these things, so like they have revenues coming as well. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's also like you also make do you can benefit from networking if you are if you are doing these things and you're being active in the chapter, you'll make some friends, you'll make some connections. So that's useful at times also.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's already 10:40 almost. I'll not hold you up any further. Thank you so much for joining me late evening today and being patient with all these discussions. So we'll come up with more topics in future and hope to see you again in one of those discussions. Yeah.
Hi, Sandeep. I think this was a very good session, and I felt very good meeting all the team members here, and a lot of valuable inputs from you as well as the team members. I look forward to such sessions in future.
Thanks so much for saying that. Thanks so much. Well, that's our aim, that we want to bring more value through useful discussions and contributions. In the past, we have brought speakers as well, on different topics, so we can do that as well.
Sure.
Yeah. More to
Thank
come.
you.
More to come. Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks so
Thanks.
much again.
Take
Take
care.
care
Thanks.
and good night.
Bye.
We'll talk.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.